This is a program evaluation of training nurse practitioners in the reproductive justice framework. How we provide reproductive care for Black and African American women is not working. And how do we know that the current standard of care and how we provide contraceptive counseling isn't working? Well, it's from data. So the 3 articles that are cited here show that women of color report racial discrimination and bias when they're receiving contraceptive counseling, and that healthcare providers admit to having personal biases in these counseling sessions, and that this has impacts. Discriminating against a group of people in contraceptive counseling and carrying bias can deeply impact the way care is provided and have harmful effects on the health outcomes of Black and African American women. The problem: the current methods of contraceptive counseling are ingrained in racism, discrimination, and implicit bias, and this combination can lead to health disparities in the reproductive health outcomes of Black and African American women. So we want to use the reproductive justice framework to see if positioning contraceptive counseling in this framework can make an impact, and we want to train nurse practitioners to use this framework. So my program will be implemented over 8 weeks, in which nurse practitioners will be trained in the reproductive justice framework to see if they're able to implement the program. Here are the objectives, and ultimately the goal of this program is to have the NPs fully understand, comprehend, and implement the RJF. The framework that I will be using is the CDC evaluation framework, and I think that we are all familiar with this image and the framework by now. It's a great tool to use, it's well studied, it's been used successfully, and for me and this program, it's highly applicable because it's been used and created in public health settings, and ultimately that is where this project will be implemented and used. There are 6 interconnected steps of the framework, and these steps are all interrelated and serve to answer the questions posed in the evaluation, to ensure outcomes are met, and to ensure there's value in the program. When using this framework, each step may be used or encountered at different times, so it's not necessarily linear as presented here, but it's important to note that the steps earlier in the process do lay a foundation for later steps. Here are our evaluation questions. Are NPs able to attend the RJF training? Did the NPs feel that the training provided them with the necessary tools needed to understand and implement the RJF? And how often are NPs using the RJF in their practice when doing contraceptive counseling? The first 2 questions will provide us with information and insight as to how some of the processes of the program are functioning, and the last question will provide insight on outcomes of the program. To evaluate the first question, the plan is to check attendance. There will be an attendance review with follow-up on the attendance review. If NPs are not able to attend, there is no way the program can be effective. And we need to know why NPs aren't able to attend. So we want to query the NPs to see what the issue or obstacles were. To survey the NPs, there will be a post-training questionnaire with questions that are open-ended and aim to assess if the NPs feel that the training provided them with the strategies they needed to use the RJF, and if there are any themes in how the training prepared them. And lastly, for the third question, the question of use and practice, a chart review will be conducted to see if NPs documented the use of RJF in their practice. The NPs will be provided with a smart phrase to use every time they counsel a patient using RJF. So this is what will be reviewed and looked for to qualify that visit used RJF. No evaluation tool or framework is perfect. So here are some of the pitfalls we may see in this evaluation. Are there issues that are affecting NPs' attendance, such as clinic needs and access? Are NPs eager and enthusiastic to learn a whole new framework? Are they invested into the use of the framework? And this is where NPs, along with the clinic, will show up as stakeholders. Are there charting discrepancies? Question number 3 of the evaluation is based on the fact that NPs will use and document when RJF is used. So if we have NPs who are too rushed to use the smart phrase or simply forget, then that will skew the evaluation of the results. The last concern goes hand in hand with the second concern. Do clinicians, staff, and organization have the time and energy to implement this framework? The data will be presented and disseminated in a few different ways. Within the institution and departments, there will be presentations. There can be poster presentations at advanced practice conferences and journal submissions. Here are the references used, and thank you so much for watching.